Hi, I'm Brian Sloboda, and today CRN goes on the road to Oklahoma to learn how Western Farmers Electric Cooperative and its member distribution systems are helping the state's farmers be more energy efficient. But first, we'll visit with Dr. Ron Kessinger, head of the Animal Science Department at Oklahoma State University, who'll tell us about the unique challenges facing today's farmers.
Well, one of the biggest challenges, Brian, is that most of our input costs for producing farm commodities have gone up, while the prices that farmers get paid for the commodities they've produced have either remained static or in some cases, when you adjust for inflation, have actually declined. Therefore, there's a real pinch for farmers to try to be able to produce these commodities at a reasonable cost. And they need to use technology to the extent possible to try to keep costs down.
What can the electric co-op do to help farmers and ranchers stay competitive and stay alive?
Electrical power is an important source of power for particularly our more intensive animal facilities like we use in the hog industry, like we use in the dairy industry for milking purposes. Those animal units are very dependent on electrical power supply, for example, for ventilation and temperature control. And so literally animals' lives are at risk when there are interruptions in power supply. So anything electric cooperatives can do to stabilize the power supply from hour to hour and day to day, but also to reduce the costs of that electrical power would be a huge help toward these agricultural industries.
Being more efficient in what you do on your facility is what's going to make or break you in the future, whether that be energy efficiency, feed efficiency, efficiency with your labor. So always trying to find a way to improve the efficiency is what's going to make you successful.
How likely are farmers and ranchers to adopt new technologies? Do they need incentives from the electric utility, or are they likely to do it on their own?
I think that really depends on the initial capital cost for investment in that technology. In some cases, if farmers know there will be a relatively short-term payback, and frankly I consider anything between 5 and 10 years to be a short-term payback, they'll use it. Simply take a look at the mechanization that's used in the dairy industry, in the swine industry, and in the poultry industry, and you'll see that they've been very aggressive about using technology.
When looking at new technologies on my dairy facility, depending on the specific area, in this situation, lighting, I've looked to my local cooperative to help provide resources to me to help be more efficient or utilize new technologies or even different meters to help us make better decisions on energy usage and energy efficiency.
It's extremely important that cooperatives who have dairies in their territory get to know the management, the ownership, get to know their process, their needs. I think a dairy is probably the most unique consumer that we have. We have some other industries that go 24/7, 365 as well, but none that have the exposure to the elements and have the needs that a dairy has on this scale.
Our whole focus as a G&T and Western Farmers is working with our distribution co-ops to find solutions to work with their key customers. And ag loads are very strong with the cooperatives, so we've been trying to find ways to work with the swine facilities, dairy facilities, poultry facilities, finding an overall just another tool in their toolkits to go work with their key customers. Just like with the swine facility with People's Electric Cooperative, it gave them an opportunity to go in their door and find another solution to become more efficient, to work with energy efficiency, and just create a better working relationship between the co-op and their customer and their member. I think you can see numbers quickly with an industry if you're making a change. With an ag, you have to wait longer to see if there is some changes, see if there's better production, to see what the overall effect is of what you've done in that relationship. And with these projects too, we're able to work within NRACA and CRN, the networks, and not even go 3-way, but 4-way and 5-way relationships to find an overall solution to make it better for not only energy savings, but building the relationships.
What's the future of today's farm industry?
Well, because people continue to need food and we know that the demand for food will increase, we certainly hope that farmers in America can stay in business, because I think they do many wonderful things for American society. But for farmers to remain in business, they have to be good business people, and that means they have to keep their costs down.
Farmers have been and will always be a critical part of American life and the rural electric cooperative movement. As we heard today, energy efficiency is extremely important to farmers, but energy use is not at the top of their agenda. As Jim Coleman from Southeast Electric Cooperative pointed out, the needs of an ag operator is different from that of traditional C&I members. You have to get to know your farmers, talk to them, work with them, get to know their operations and needs. A close working relationship is key to meeting the energy efficiency needs of your ag producers. To learn more about the energy needs of farms or to learn about other exciting cooperative programs, visit the CRN Center for Energy Innovation on cooperative.com.